The year is 2050. The world order we knew for the last century, it's gone. The United States is no longer the only boss on the global stage. Its biggest rival, China, has caught up, fundamentally changing how the world works, from our economy to our military to the tech in our pockets. The big question for the next 30 years isn't just who wins, it's what kind of world are we going to live in? Will China take the top spot alone, or are we looking at a tense balance between two giants? To find out, we need to look at the three things that matter most: money, tech, and firepower. First, let's talk about the economy. If you measure by purchasing power parity, which is basically how much stuff a country can actually produce and buy locally, China actually passed the US back in 2017. By 2050, they are projected to be the world's largest economy by far on this metric. But raw size isn't everything. Even if China's total economy is bigger, the average American is still going to be much richer than the average Chinese citizen. By mid-century, the wealth per person in China is expected to be only 40 to 50% of what the average American has. Also, China's days of explosive growth are over. They spent decades pumping massive amounts of money into housing and infrastructure, but that strategy is running out of steam. Projections show their growth slowing down to just 2 to 3% per year through 2050, much lower than what many analysts used to predict. The biggest problem China faces? They are running out of people. It is a demographic collapse. Between 2011 and 2050, China's working age population is forecast to shrink by 23%. That leaves them with a workforce of about 749 million people, trying to support a rapidly aging society, all while paying off massive national debts. The United States has a massive advantage here. Even though the US population is getting older too, continuous immigration is projected to keep the American workforce relatively stable through 2050. China is shrinking, the US is holding steady. This is the defining fight of the 21st century: artificial intelligence. And you can't win the AI war without advanced semiconductors, computer chips. Whoever makes the best chips controls the future of computing and weapon systems. The US is playing both offense and defense. On offense, the 2022 Chips and Science Act is pumping $280 billion into American research and manufacturing. On defense, they are using guardrails, strict export bans to stop China from buying the most advanced chips or the machines needed to make them. China is fighting back with its wallet. Since 2014, the Chinese state has poured roughly $150 billion into its own chip sector, with plans to spend even more. Their goal is Made in China 2025, total technological independence. And they are making progress. China recently shocked the world by mass producing 7 nanometer chips. They did this using older, deep ultraviolet machines because they couldn't buy the newer tech. Since 2015, their capacity to make standard chips has grown 4 times faster than global demand. But here is their vulnerability. China still relies on foreign tools for the absolute cutting-edge stuff. The US and its allies have blocked China from buying extreme ultraviolet EUV machines from the Dutch company ASML. This forces Beijing to spend billions just to catch up on basics, making it very hard for them to take the lead by 2050. Now, let's look at military power. China is building ships at a speed the world hasn't seen in a long time. The Chinese Navy is already bigger than the US Navy in terms of sheer numbers. They have over 370 battle force ships right now and are projected to hit 435 by 2030. The US Navy is projected to have 294. The industrial gap is huge. Estimates suggest China's shipbuilding capacity is roughly 200 times greater than the United States. They can build and repair ships at a scale Washington currently cannot match. China is using this navy plus a massive arsenal of ground-based missiles to control their backyard, specifically around Taiwan and the South China Sea. They want to make it too dangerous for the US to intervene. However, having more ships doesn't mean you win. The US has the quality advantage: bigger ships, tonnage, better logistics, and a global network of bases. Most importantly, the US Navy has decades of combat experience. China's military hasn't fought a major war since 1979. They are untested. China uses its wallet to gain influence. Through the Belt and Road Initiative, started in 2013, they are investing in infrastructure across over 150 countries. These countries represent nearly 75% of the world's population. This gives China huge leverage, especially in Africa and Asia. The US can't match that direct spending, so it relies on alliances. Washington is strengthening ties through groups like the Quad and the AUKUS Defense Pact. The US strategy is about deep, long-term cooperation and shared values. The US alliance system is deeper and more resilient, but there is a risk. Experts warn of an American Suez moment, a scenario where a visible US failure in the Pacific causes allies to lose faith. If that trust breaks, American global power could crumble fast. So, where does that leave us in 2050? We are likely heading for a bipolar world where both countries are powerful, but in different ways. China has the industrial scale and the ability to execute plans quickly. The United States maintains its edge through its global financial leadership, its culture of breakthrough innovation, and its deep network of international allies. However, the United States faces a significant internal challenge: the struggle to maintain a unified national consensus. Ultimately, the greatest hurdle to American leadership may be its own internal coordination. The winner of this rivalry won't necessarily be the one with the most resources. It will be the nation that can maintain a stable home front while providing a clear and consistent vision for the rest of the world. What do you think? Will 2050 belong to the US or China? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives.